Hello and welcome to another episode of One Night Strahd, where we last left our adventurers. They were facing off against an archmage of the tower, Patrina. But before we get into it, make sure you go and give all of our wonderful players a follow. There's a command in the chat to make it super easy for you to go do so. I would love to welcome to the table the wonderful Athena Palmer, Alex Ward, Persephone Valentine, and Jen Kretchmer. I had to shorten all of your characters' titles because I realized during the last episode that the overlay cut some of them off. So I think it's just that Pip the human at one point.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, that was, I
very
don't know.
Finn the human energy.
That's okay. Pip's a very small person, so a very short title works fine.
Whoopsie. But make sure you go give all of these wonderful individuals a follow as we come into the last two episodes of our mini-series brought to you by the Hedra Group. Thank you so much, Hedra Group, for sponsoring us. You can check out the One Night Strahd module to do your own little speed run of Ravenloft by checking out the link in the chat. All right.
Do it. Rockapella.
You
do it right. Do it good.
Find yourselves in a beautiful temple made of golden light. In this tower, one of the highest parapets of Castle Ravenloft. Before you, you see Patrina. New Game Plus has started, seated upon a massive throne of gilded gold, as she has taken, or rather you have chosen, I believe, the form of pride. I think I was nice and let y'all choose. Doosh, 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 doosh. The stairs to her throne grow in size until it almost reaches the zenith of the sky, and it's all you can see around you. The light is blinding. Everyone give me a wisdom saving throw.
Already,
right out of the gate.
I got a natural 20.
Ooh, fancy.
Mm-hmm.
That is 14 for me.
We still do have the effects of the feast.
Heroes Feast.
Right,
Yes.
Heroes Feast.
We do.
So you get the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Oh, we get advantage on wisdom saving.
Yes, you get advantage.
You
That
will.
did not help.
Yes,
Mama-
good
I mean,
stuff, Matthias, remembering that.
Matthias.
14, yes, good job.
15.
Good job.
15
Matthias,
meets
I
it, beats it.
That would be an 19 for me.
You all feel the pride wash over you as Patrina says, I am the first sin of the wise. Walk with me. And you are able to resist the physical effects. In your mind, you see the next 10 years of your life play out. And you almost feel as though your body begins to age, but through your wisdom, you understand that pride is folly. And you don't take psychic damage or age 10 years, which is something that could have happened.
I was
I'm
almost
so
old
glad that
enough
my
to
face
drink.
doesn't follow entirely off.
I was going to say that would have been interesting for Pip.
Just-
But you do see the next 10 years of your life kind of play out, Pip. You, the gumshoe you've dreamt of being, actually accomplishing that yourself, your own business, your own owlbear workshop, so many chains, so much influence. You could do anything. You could be anything. No. As you take hold of your senses, you shall remain Pip and fade into the west.
Very good. Very good.
Flutes begin to play.
I hate me. Okay.
We love it, though. We
I love
love
it.
you.
That was funny.
And then you begin to see Patrina's astral form kind of still from this throne. You begin to see her take another form. As she does, you notice that like she grows in size and kind of becomes a constellation. And above her, you see a shooting star begin to form made of thin lines of purple rising above her head. And she takes the form of Wish. And as she does, she says, I am wish, and I wish for you to perish. What form do you take?
Are we
Do
still
you
choosing
remember
from
that?
the list, or
You can choose anything you want, whatever you think would counter it.
the form of wish, the pride to bend the world to your will? We could ground it in reality, in the material.
You know who
Or-
grants wishes? The djinn.
That's true.
And there's always some sort of twist or turn with the verbiage there. So
So
I'm just
would the solution then be the container which holds the gin?
I mean,
I think that
A bottle
groundingness.
for gin that you drink in a glass or a flask? No.
What does a wish do? A wish takes the will of someone and pushes it into reality.
but the
To
power.
contain it. Matthias, stop.
Look, I'm just saying.
The
Just power. The gin creates the wish. You know. I'm just gonna sit over here, I guess.
I'm going to finish what I said. I'm going to say.
Go
The thing that contains a genie is a container that is an enforced will upon it. It creates something that this cannot affect. So we need to ground it in something that is representative of the will to make a wish, but also the will to contain it. Does that make sense?
Nope.
I'm a little confused.
So how does one counter a wish then? If we are to go with that a wish is to enforce one's own will and make it manifest, how does one stop?
Well,
a wish?
counter is an interesting thing.
I mean, you can counter
To
spell.
What could do that though?
That was one of our options, wasn't it?
I believe
Do
so.
you need a reminder of your options?
Yes, please.
Probably.
Yeah, I think counter spell was one more.
Everyone's like, yes, please, please
Surely.
give us. Give us
Counter,
the list.
counter spell is one. The others were hope, bounty, rebirth, knowledge, the relic, the sphinx, the golem, the beholder, the walled city. Then you have counterspell, the rock like bird, not like rock.
Oh, okay.
The paladin, the dragon, the ranger, the astral plane, the djinn, the goblin, the ship. But you can also take whatever form you want in the way that Pura became the sun.
I'm going to step forward and take the form of counter spell.
You chose correctly. As Patrina's wish to make you perish begins to unmake you, your face almost, you feel it like it's already falling apart, but you start to feel it come away even more. And all of you, as you start to look at your fingers, notice it like as a ribbon or like a piece of string that someone is pulling is coming away at the tips of your fingers. As a spell begins to take hold, Vethe steps forward and chooses the form Counterspell. It comes up out of her form and kind of comes brushing down like a soothing rain on you. And the effects of the wish spell are undone. But first, roll me a... Dun, dun, dun. An Arcana check. With advantage, as you chose the right form.
Okay. That is an 18.
And what is the second one?
Oh, the second roll?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to roll both with advantage or just 2 rolls?
Just 2 rolls. Like, I just wanted to know the result of both.
13.
13. For a moment.
Oh, wait. I can re-roll that thanks to Elven accuracy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Go with the 13.
Wait, so what was the highest of it? You had a 13 and a
18.
18 and a 13. Ooh. Even with the advantage, the counter spell is not strong enough.
Oh, wait. I have wheel.
Ah, okay.
Ooh.
Add a 6 to that.
Okay.
So,
Just enough. Just
oh,
enough.
thank God.
The spell begins to take hold. Like I said, it's almost like someone pulling a string. You feel the soothing mist come down, and then you feel it form around you. And as it does, the spell ceases to take effect. Patrina lets out a very strange sound, almost like the purring of a cat. She is pleased with your decision, and she prepares her next form. Dun, dun, dun.
Matthias would like to make a mental note of how the unraveling happened.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess that was sort of a denial of will, so to speak.
Will, power.
What forms would the other three
No,
of you
no.
like to take for the remainder of the game?
I mean, we don't get to see what she's changing into. We just gotta pick one.
Am I stuck with counterspell for the rest of the game?
No. You can't. You can choose another form. You can't go next, but you can.
And whatever form I pick next is what's final.
Yeah, you're going to take turns going first, if that makes sense.
And Matthias already has been a dragon, right? Or
You can
still
choose the same form
available?
again. Yeah.
Okay.
I was the astral. Oh, I was the astral plane.
You know what?
You'll get to select who goes next, though.
Yeah.
So even if like you don't know what form she's taking, you'll still know. Like you'll still be able to choose
Right.
amongst yourself who you think will fit.
It just means our options are limited.
Look,
Unfortunately.
Matthias will step forward, and after seeing the next 10 years of his life flash before his eyes, he's in quite a bit of a mood right now. But the one thing that still remains on this tallest gnome that you ever did see is hope.
Aw. You take the form of hope. You see coming out of Matthias's form those same silvery, almost like threads of fate, purple. You do see the tallest gnome stand above Matthias. You see the most perfect version of Matthias, the version that Matthias hopes he will achieve one day. You see Matthias has a beautiful wife, a million kids running around, the hope of something better, free from Barovia with a beautiful cottage in the background. And you see Patrina take the form of the eclipse. You see a sun come out of her, and you feel the entire temple grow dark in her presence as she changes. And as the sun comes out of her, you see a horrible sphere of nothingness completely devour it. And she says, I am night without end, life taker, way breaker. However, Matthias, you did choose correctly with hope, despite not knowing what I had chosen. So you
I
get
had
to
no
roll with advantage. You give me a DC, a survival check, or you can use one of your form skills.
Which ones is those?
You have religion, acrobatics, and persuasion.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that religion, as I am a religious man.
Okay, roll with advantage. Let me know both
Since
rolls.
when are you religious?
That'll be a
What are
16.
you saying?
and a
Religiously devoted to the pussy? Is that what you're going for?
21. Look,
Talk
woman.
about girls.
Religiously devoted to getting your dick wet?
Look, don't talk
La,
about
la,
things
la.
you don't know about. Sometimes, even though this
Oh, I'm sorry.
raw
Getting it
sexual
dick
attraction
shallow
on the
inside someone.
outside,
It wouldn't get wet, just damp.
look, just because that's what you want doesn't mean that that's what I want. You saw
What I
all
want
the inner workings.
Is to understand
Of
what
what's around
exactly
you.
your religion is.
As you
God.
argue amongst yourselves, you hear Petrina's voice come out and say, although you may weather the void, it does not leave you untouched. Each of you take 3d6 plus 4 cold damage.
Wait, I think I'm resistant to that?
Yes, you are with Winter's Fury or whatever it's called.
Yes.
So 4, 2, that's 6 plus 4, 10, 14 cold damage. But you do survive this challenge.
Oh, I'm resistant, so I take half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
we
it's
all
14?
take that though.
We also have
Yes,
those
everyone.
15 points of HP left over.
And it was 14 total?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So 7.
So you would get 7.
All right.
Look, Vethe, I know you won't, but it's because I want something more, okay? If you
I
want to
don't know
know
if I'm
my
shivering from the
religion,
cold or what you want.
look, God is my God, the God of knowledge.
The
If you
god of
really
knowledge.
must know, since that's the first personal question you've asked good old Matthias, okay? So I'm just going to go over here because
Why would
you
they
messed up
want
my
to ask someone a
concentration.
personal question when they keep hitting on me constantly?
Did you ever think I just wanted to get to know you?
Then ask me a question about myself instead of tearing at my chest and face, which your attraction to my face is very confusing, but like
It's true. You keep getting upset that that Vethe isn't asking you personal questions, but you haven't actually asked Vethe any questions that were not uncomfortably personal, but personal enough about her life.
I did ask her what she liked to do in her spare time, and she basically looked at me and said, that's none of your business. So,
because that was after multiple times where you hit on me consistently where I did not want anything to do with you.
well, I mean, that's what a suitor does, right? You ask,
No.
like, you let your
No, it is
presence
not.
be known that you have interest, and you know what? We ain't got
In
time.
300
right
years,
now.
I've never had a migraine this strong. Never.
As you say this, Petrina's form begins to change, and she takes the
May I?
form. Yes.
Oh, do I need to change before she changes, or
No,
Can
because
we
this
wait?
time she gets to
Okay.
go first, so you can kind of
Okay,
choose.
got it.
Yeah. And she takes the form of the Lich, and she says, "Oh, Matthias, don't you see? The desire of what you can't have can drive you to do very dark things." Her face becomes skeletally gaunt. You see her soul fracture in time and space, a purple line drawn without her, and you see her still beating heart kind of rise above her, gnarled, undead, living forever. And she says, the desire of things beyond your power can turn you into the anti-life. Choose your form.
Is anyone else going?
You can't go twice in a row, so someone else has to go. Beth,
that-
you're off
that's what I
cooldown
heard
now.
to the group.
Yeah, yeah.
Pip, did you want to go? Do you have an idea?
I would say maybe the paladin, because that's dead.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Either that or rebirth.
That too.
sure.
Go ahead,
I'll be a
Pip.
paladin.
Yeah.
I'll grow up
Yeah,
to be a
do it.
paladin. That sounds. I'll grow up to be a paladin. That sounds fantastic.
There you go.
And
Pip, as you
Such a
say
brave
this,
soul.
you see the purple outline, like a purple light kind of outlines your figure and then rises up above you, and you all see a beautiful, imposing figure of Pip, now clad in this beautiful lavender armor made of light. Flail proudly brandished in hand, a beautiful shield against this cold, shattered heart, this broken, undying thing that represents pain and misery never ending. You do gain advantage. You guys are choosing the right forms. I'm actually really impressed.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And
You get
what do I need
religion,
to-
investigation, and athletics.
I mean, I know which one works for you.
Hmm.
yeah,
And you gain
Mhm.
advantage.
religion, investigation, and
Athletics.
athletics.
Mhm.
Yeah, so investigation is always
Surprising
a
no
fun
one.
one.
Go ahead and roll with advantage and let me know both of your rolls.
I hope that Pip gets to grow into this, you know.
I mean, maybe one day we'll know.
Maybe.
So it's a 24
Okay.
and
perfect.
a 20, dirty 20.
Amazing. 2 successes. You see Patrina's hand kind of reach for the cheek of the paladin that you've created. And she smiles to herself, this like horrible, twisted, undead face. And she says, "You're really good at this." But then you see her kind of like flick her fingers and say, "This form doesn't suit me either way. I would like an unlife that synergizes my hobbies and the things I enjoy with eternal life. This is rather unbecoming."
I think that sounds like a plan. You should definitely think long term about the things you enjoy and ensuring that those are part of your life. For me, I enjoy detective novels. Have you read detective novels?
I have many books
Lavender
in my
armor
library.
glinting.
Yeah. I have many books in my library. I'm sure some of them would be of interest to you, but maybe they are a bit above your reading level.
Oh, I was gonna say if you're looking for hobbies, it's a really awesome one, and you should maybe go read some of them. They're very neat.
She looks very amused, and her eyes, like kind of that are just like lights in a shallow skull, flit over to you, Pura. Will the last challenge be yours?
I suppose so.
Take your form.
I will take the form of knowledge, knowing that this is a test and it will also pass.
You see, let's see, as you take the form of knowledge, you see a sort of light kind of outline Pura's Tabaxi figure and then come up, and you see like tombs stacked upon each other, forming an almost construct. Tomes, I should say, not tombs. Tomes stacked upon
I was
each
like, all
other.
right, yeah.
Creating an almost construct, and you see the power of knowledge never ending. You see the advancement of civilization, like kind of at the feet of this giant being, almost like kind of reminding of Shadow of Colossus in a way. And Patrina takes the form of the Archfey. You see her body kind of change as she becomes serpentine, these 2 large lotuses at either side of her head. And you see a form kind of come up above her of this same like winged serpent. Its wings extending so far, they touch almost the roof of this giant sort of golden temple you are in. Your form of knowledge does not grant you advantage here. Unfortunately for you.
That's fine.
But she kind of looks at you with a respect because of your actions in one of the previous rounds, where when asked if you would steal her knowledge or pay respects, I believe you said you would pay respects. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah.
So because you've offered in the past the Archfey an offer of fealty, which you didn't do, but an offer of respect, that does grant you advantage here. But you'll need to make a charisma saving throw.
Not good. to?
I will use a chronal shift to allow you to. I weave back the time that just happened. I untangle the threads of time that she was fiddling with and that were maybe messing with Pura's thoughts and charm.
Also add a 5 to that from Wheel.
Roll again, Pura.
So yeah, go ahead and re-roll. You have to use the second
5.
re-roll though.
It can't be much worse. It's worse. So okay, so it would be a 6 in total.
You take 6d6 plus 6 cold damage.
Great.
5, that's 7. Whoa. 13.
That was with advantage too?
Yes. I believe.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So that's... Wait, I lost count. There's so many die. Okay, so 2, 6, 12, 15, 18, 20, 26 cold damage. You feel like the frost begin to like engulf your form. You feel your fur almost kind of stiffen, and you all see frost begin to form like around Pura's breath and around their whiskers. And you see the Archfey grow larger in stature, the mist and the ice beginning to sort of swirl around it. And Petrina says, I am autumn's end, the last lover of leaves. Know me by my given name, Morgan Le Fay. Do you want to walk together and meet the handmaidens of frost?
And Pura looks up at them, and having the cold sap most of her strength, she says, winter is ferocious and terrifying, but I do have the knowledge that it does end, no matter how much you wish it wouldn't. So I will stay here.
Okay, that's actually really cool. Especially because you have Winter's End.
No, I do not anymore.
Oh yeah, you acquired it though, which I think is worth.
Yes,
something. I did. This time, instead of rolling charisma, roll for me, if you will, an attack roll.
Using what modifier?
Using your Dex modifier.
Okay.
You can add your proficiency to this as well.
Great.
Can I do something after this?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this just a straight roll?
Mm-hmm.
No advantage?
Yes, advantage.
Okay.
Because of the respect mechanic, yeah.
Great. So the first one is 21, and the second one would be a 19.
Nice.
Ooh. Okay. 2 successes. You see the whipping snow, the ice-cold shards begin to come out of the Archfey and tear away at this golem, and then begin to tear away at Pura, who is just a shell of them of their former selves because of how bitter cold this ice is. But you see the resolution in Pura's eyes that they will not break down, and that this too will end. And then, just like that, the Archfey kind of begins to flicker. It's pouring its strength into this icy barrage. But Pura holds their ground until, in its anger and its fury and its vengeance, the Archfey begins to unmake itself. as this giant serpent begins to kind of unravel, shrieking it out of its mouth, almost this blizzard coming at you, getting angrier and angrier by the moment. Pura, it is so horrifyingly cold. You begin to see the coils of this snake start peeling off, kind of like Vethe's face, and falling around you. And as it does, one piece falls around your shoulders, giving you Winter Serpent's instant fortress, a cloak made from elemental ice. It is identical to Instant Fortress. I have the link for that if you require it.
Is that identical to Instant Fortress? Okay.
I have the link handy. Hold up. I'm going to toss it in the Discord for you.
Great.
There's a pretty lengthy explanation of it, actually. This cloak is made of what looks to be snakeskin made of ice as it falls around your shoulders. The fortress does not deal damage while unfolding like your typical fortress, but instead shunts creatures out harmlessly. And the Winter Serpent lives inside it. The Winter Serpent is no longer hostile to you. And players can bargain with her when they choose to take shelter inside the fortress.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, Vethe, you said you wanted to do something after Pura's turn.
So, Vethe is going to step forward towards Pura. And as she does, her skin and sinew that's revealed underneath her face and in the fraying skin of her hands is going to go black and then fill with the light of tiny stars that are going to spill out from her in specks and wisps and swirl up above her into the air. And she takes on the chalice form. And when she does, something comes over her face and there's this quiet stillness, this blankness that you can't read. And those stars start to spread upward, growing larger and larger until it takes the form of a bigger Vethe that is made of starlight. Her eyes are nebulas. Her stomach is the cradle of a galaxy of black holes spilling forth planets, and reaches up a hand to meet another. And in pure starlight, made of thousands of suns, is the form of a faceless man above her, reaching for her fingertips as she becomes the lover's card of the tarot. And casts Aura of Vitality to heal Pura. That is 11 for the base plus plus 9, so 20 hit points total.
Hey. Awesome.
You heal Pura and you take the form of the lovers as Patrina takes her final form.
Oh.
You see her face grow blank. Her eyes kind of lose their usual playfulness. Her face kind of falls, almost as though she's in a daze. And around you, the world becomes grayscale. And she takes the form of ennui. As she does, she says, I am Anhedonia, the death of joy, the end of intentions. Life has no meaning, it has no purpose. It is just an endless trudge, not towards death, but something less meaningful. It is a void. No one is free from it. Gods, even, succumb to their own boredom and therefore their own destruction. Those who wish immortal life find themselves at its mercy, and yet, though living, find themselves on their knees to it as well. listlessness, soul-annihilating boredom, to find no joy in love, in hatred. Is that not the conqueror of love? Is it not
No.
becoming bored with each other?
It is not.
Matthias feels like he's being personally attacked right now, and he would like to go to a corner.
Love is what defeats ennui. Because falling in love, not just with people, but with what's around you, with nature, with things of beauty, to find the drive to live and enjoy life again. It's what can defeat ennui time and time again.
Give me an intelligence saving throw.
Nat 20.
Hey.
Oh my god.
So good.
As you say this sort of vacuous form kind of like winks at you. As Patrina's normal sort of joyousness kind of fills this husk that she was. And she seems very pleased with you. That nat 20 was very fortunate for you. And she says, my brave warriors of summer. Summer's children, truly. You are my strength in the face of endlessness. How long have I wasted away in this tower? I don't even remember anymore, but you remind me why I do what I do. I'm in your debt. Truth, hope, love, and the dash of the curious. With this, she looks at you, Pip. Curiosity, I should say. That's what makes this endless existence in Barovia worth living, does it not?
There is one other thing.
Build an owl bell workshop?
No. Vethe will hold out the bag of beans and is going to use Druid craft to sprout them.
Ooh.
There is all of that to be found in life. Ephemeral or everlasting. You can find all these things again and again and again. And they can be different every time.
As almost in slow motion, the beans fall to the floor, sprouting where each one falls with your druid craft. You see Patrina kind of grow concerned for a moment. Her eyes almost go wide. And as they do, and as these like beans begin to sprout, kind of overtaking the temple you're in, the temple begins to, like made of light, begins to be overgrown by this strange black ichor that kind of tears it apart brick by brick. Patrina says, oh no, he is coming. But your reward was hard fought. Here you go, Vethe. And she hands you a staff of frost. I'll give you the staff for that. I must make my hasty departure. I hope you all have the most wonderful time. Here's a ring of warmth, Pura. I think you'll need it. It is time for me to depart. Good luck to all of you.
Wait a minute. You can stand here and help here. You can help us. Clearly, you have abilities and skills that would be useful in taking care of this situation. You're very, very powerful. Why would you just run away?
Holy water?
Against him, I am not so powerful. And against that which you have brought here, Matthias, Let's just say I don't wish to be collateral damage while the Titans make war with each other.
I didn't bring nothing here.
Oh, you did the jackal.
Doreen.
This is my friend.
I
His name
foresee
is Burr.
a very difficult decision before you all. You've earned my respect. I hope you earn theirs. I think you'll make the right choice. For me, however, once again, I prefer not to get involved in the squabbles of some of the other main cast here.
But you already have.
Do you by chance have just a little bit of holy water? I was reading about it in this manga here, or a comic, as some people might call it. Just a pitcher full is all good old Matthias needs.
You see a single tear form on her cheek. She takes it off with a nail and offers it to you, and like a perfect dewdrop, it sits at the tip of her nail.
Thank you. I would like to grab the funnel that I got in the very first adventure in my mechanical dog Skippy, who is quite hollow on the inside. I would like to funnel and then put the dewdrop tear, and hopefully it's not sad, because I'm very sad right now. And I would like to funnel it into Skippy.
Okay. As this happens, she kind of gives you all a deep bow, and you see this thick black velvety moss overtake the entire sort of orrery that you're in. You see that beautiful golden casket still above you, bathed in light, a woman in armor. And as Petrina kind of fades almost and becomes once more as a sort of wizard of this tower, archmage of this tower, a part of the tower itself, the thick black velvety moss comes erupting out, covering everything. And around the same time, the floor sort of begins to lift you upwards towards the orrery, those two hands that lift again, kind of pushing you up. And as you see the heart of darkness, you see, once again, this woman in armor in this encased silver. And out of the ring sprouts a jackal-headed demon.
This is Burr, everybody. You didn't get to meet his other brother, Burr. But this is Burr.
Bronze. While this is happening, has the image of the lover started to fade or disappear yet?
Yeah.
So as we start to go up and demon is rising, Vethe is looking up at the figure as it fades, and she looks incredibly sad and betrayed.
You kind of see the same look reflected in the face of the woman in the casket. And as you're sitting there wondering what to do about this, you see Burr casually go up and with one flick of the fingers, send it careening off the edge of the tower.
Send what?
The casket.
Casket?
It is enveloped in fog and shadow and disappears from sight. You hear the sound of almost like a sigh in the winds around you as this black moss continues to grow up all around you, consuming the tower, kind of falling down its sides like a black cape.
Real quick, I summon Faye to go after the casket.
Make a sleight of hand check to see, or a perception check to see if you are fast enough to see what's happening.
Okay, let's see. Do you want me to make one and then the other?
Yes.
Okay. Perception. That is a dirty 20.
You're able to see it as it's happening.
Sleight of hand.
And then a sleight of hand to see if you can quickly cast it fast enough.
No.
I can help again. I can use chromatic shift.
Okay.
I'm going to be sorry I burned all of these. Go ahead and reroll.
Okay.
This is my last one, so.
Oh, that's much better. And this is sleight of hand. 24.
You see it happening as this jackal-headed creature comes erupting out of Matthias's ring, and the casket goes careening off the edge, and you are able to summon a fey creature. What does this fey creature look like?
It is... I think I can decide, but I think it's a specific type. Hold on, let me see. Okay. I summon a mirthful fae, but it looks like, honestly, it looks like a tiny image of Vethe, but without any of the damage done to her skin or musculature. This glowing, pink-skinned, blonde fae creature that floats out from her.
You're able to catch the casket. Burr wheels around on you, angry, and begins to like grow in size. The Arcanoloth sprouts a second head, and you see his limbs kind of like come jutting out, growing like in size and in gnarledness. And he says, "Oh, that wasn't the deal." And as this happens,
What's the deal?
from the moss, you see once again that lotus-shaped sort of obelisk appear. And from
one with
inside
Omu.
it, you see Omu come out, no longer dressed as though he was a cast member of Wind in the Willows, but dressed truly for war. He actually looks very similar to the tapestry that you saw earlier, Matthias. And he strikes an imposing figure. You see this death slod in their like kind of bladed armor, wielding this mighty hammer behind him. And you hear him come out and say, "Normally I don't like to interfere, but our cast members have kind of forgotten their part in the myth. Matthias, please tell me you did not truly intend to unleash that evil upon the world when you leave Barovia."
Technically, he said he was gonna help. I wasn't expecting the murder death, and he looked quite nice, and he was a skip dab dibble.
That is a consumer of worlds, the great devourer.
Matthias.
I took him on his word. What? All right, Matthias will fix it. Hold on. And Matthias starts like reaching into his bag and start trying to find probably a bomb. Probably a bomb. That and like I pick up one. It's like, nah, that one's too small.
As you're searching for bombs, you actually like so many things happened here. I'm just gonna make a good DM ruling. Normally, you would have to fight the simulacrum, which is a very difficult fight. But normally, Vethe, in Act 3, upon the planting of a magic bean, you can summon Omu, who will help you for one turn for each bean planted. But you planted all of them. Now, normally, Omu deals a stunning amount of magical damage, magical bludgeoning damage, and stuns the creature for one round. Very powerful callback. In this case, you see him completely obliterate the Burr simulacrum. You see two bosses face off against each other, and you realize that Omu was truly hiding, but a small vestige of his power. The hammer rings. You see the two heads try to bite at Omu. You see him very skillfully deflect these blows, and then, much like Captain America, swinging his hammer, pong, just smack Burr straight in the face, and then grabbing both of his heads, rip it straight down the middle, tossing aside the husks and the remains of the spine down the tower with very little to no effort.
So you're really strong.
So,
Huh.
Well, I suppose
Step
so.
behind Vethe and kind of cling onto her skirts.
Vethe puts an arm like on you, like soccer mom style, as you go behind her.
I suppose that would be the whole elemental chaos bloodline. Either way, I suppose you won't have to worry about him anymore. It might have been very bad if you had unleashed him on the world, smuggled him out of Barovia. Matthias, you should make better deals. As a debt monger.
Yeah, we're going to have a conversation
we would have had
about
to
that.
fight 2 of those if the stuff. Today's just a really bad day for me mentally.
You're backtracking. You fucked
just
up.
a really bad day for me mentally. I'm gonna note this and improve. Also, why do you need us here? If you can do all of that.
My hands are tied. You understand that, don't you?
By the hand of fate, you are not. Let me guess. You can't interfere with what's happening with Strahd, right?
Unfortunately, no. We're all somewhat bound to this place. It's horrible. I mean, Gertruda isn't even the way she used to be anymore. Hardly.
What did she used to be?
How did she used to be?
Well, I don't know if it's my place to say.
I mean,
she is kind of my best friend. Well, Gertruda, she's one of the oldest creatures in Ravenloft, really. That's why her and I go way back. She's one of the lords of Ravenloft.
So, was she deposed with Strahd, or is she supposed to be work?
Oh, she hates Strahd. You know, she might be willing to help you now that you saved Irina. You see him kind of point at the casket being carefully placed back on its plinth by the Fae you summoned. Gertruda is the Lord of Summer. And she fell in love with Irina. But unlike Strahd, she understood that that love couldn't be forced.
This is all above my pay grade.
Guys, there's a lot of things wrong with this manga that's not going along with what we're actually doing, and I'm starting to get a bit worried. We might be in over our heads right now.
Vethe is going to walk over to the coffin.
Well, considering you brought a devourer of worlds with us, I'd say yes. Things have gotten out of hand.
Well, how was I supposed to know he was evil?
Did you ask?
Ask us.
Did you?
Let us look at him.
I wasn't
more.
there. You were there talking and making deals, and
I made a deal to bring
you. You always need to check all of your door corners.
He said that if I brought him to the tower, he would help us. I don't know why I'm being blamed for everything today. I'm just trying to have a nice time and then blow up my ex-wife's house because she stole my damn dog. Okay? That's all I want to do. And if I made relationships along the way, so be it. But I am tired of being yelled at because everyone else is forgetting their point.
What's the point we've forgotten, Matthias?
I don't know anymore. I'm just trying to read this book and understand how to kill this vampire. And this woman is dead, but in the book, she's alive. And then there's this frogman who isn't a frogman, by the way. And I keep telling y'all not to trust this dude because he's withholding information. I don't care if he's right there. I don't care.
No, I just mean your intuition on who to trust seems flawed, considering who you brought with us. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Bronze.
I see where this is headed. Wife number 2 acted just like you, Pura. Nope, I'm out.
I'm gonna go hang out with wife number 2 then.
You know what? You're right.
So
that's what you want to hear. You're right. Matthias shuts up and he goes to the court.
So, Omu and Gertruda are friends. They're lords of Ravenloft. They've been here since the beginning. Gertruda's changed. We're not quite sure on how she's changed, but it's mostly she's sad because because she was in love with Irina, but understood that free will was part of the equation. Am I on track so far? And I pull out my notebook.
Oh, yes. It's a bit of a love triangle, isn't it? Gertruda and Strahd both loved Irina, and one of them... Well, I think one of them sought to own her more than truly love her.
One of them forced the situation.
So...
You have the better of it. As for your questions as to why I don't just change everything, the dark powers are a bit strange in how they work. They've found it apt to take me, a lord of chaos, and bind me in a sort of a harbinger of order, which is rather ironic when you think about it, but rather unfortunate for the likes of me. And although I would like to be rid of this place and stretch my legs for a while, I would never sink to the depths of that burr to do it. That creature is a monstrosity, and fortunately for you, you happen to plant the beans at such a time that I could aid you.
I wondered, will Burr come back?
If we don't break the cycle, yes. And I suppose if your parts were to be recast, someone else could take him out of Barovia. But on the off chance that I ever get out of here, I would like for there to be a somewhat decent well for me to return to.
And how do we break the cycle?
Taking down Strahd, I assume.
Yeah, at this you see his face kind of sadden, and he says, unfortunately, you'd have to destroy the Heart of Darkness. That's the only way to defeat Strahd. Otherwise, he'll come back. And in this case, his Heart of Darkness is Irina. Thus, Burr's eagerness to fling her from the tower and into the abyss.
While this is happening,
you do notice, Matthias, that the ring now has become grafted to your finger, although the voices within it remain silent for now.
Is this...
Sorry. Please tell me you didn't put it on your wedding finger. On your ring. Matthias is never getting married again.
This calling Irina the Heart of Darkness, is that purely a physical thing or a metaphorical, in the sense that if we could get Irina to denounce Strahd and break up with him, that would suffice? Or do we have to kill her?
You know, no one's ever tried it.
So, as I said...
You lot are going off script a lot, but I like it.
Vethe has completely separated from the conversation and gone to the coffin. And is going to look at Irina.
You recognize her face from the images shown to you at the very beginning by Gertruda.
So Vethe is going to stroke the surface of the coffin with her long black fingernails, and then with the other hand reach into her breast pocket and pull out the lover's card and place it on the coffin.
Give me an Arcana check.
Cool. Come on, big money.
What is that face? You see the coffin shatter into shards of light. And now you see they're actually made of amber, that same amber from the world tree that was like in the depths below. As it shatters, you see like these large slabs, kind of crystalline in nature, of the sap fly everywhere around the sort of mossy pit you're now in, with that beautiful lotus obelisk floating behind you. And you see her in her full glory, clad in plate mail, adorned with symbols of benevolent gods. You see her rise up, and she's about 6'1" and has the build of a warrior. Her hair is pulled back out of her face, and you see like imperious eyebrows, dark onyx colored eyes, and skin the color of, honestly, a warm mocha. And you see the color kind of rise in her cheeks as she rises out of the coffin.
Vethe will offer her a hand to help her get up.
She comes out of the coffin looking confused a bit around her. And she seems almost angry.
Hello.
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 You are Arena, correct?
Yes.
You have a very complicated romantic life.
Romance isn't the word I would use for it.
Bound by a man who wants to control you.
He will never control me.
No, not now.
But you are his heart of darkness, correct?
Ugh, disgusting. I am his nothing. I'm not
But
his
factually,
property.
you are right.
Whatever he did to you to make you his heart of darkness, that was not your choice, was it?
As this is happening, Matthias, who is very much so not near the group right now because they've insulted him way too much for his liking, would like to cast Detect Magic centered on Irina.
What are you looking for exactly? Like whether it's an illusion?
Something don't seem right about this, right? I'm reading the book. It doesn't match up with the Omu's story. I'm very suspicious of if this is actually Irina, if this is someone pretending to be her, because all accords from this book, Irina is a very chipper young woman. And I'm just very confused on why she was asleep, but I refuse to talk to the group.
Give me an
anymore about this
investigation
today.
check with advantage.
Also, anyone that's in the Aura of Vitality can now heal 23 hit points.
So that would be a 27 for the investigation. Do I still need to use the spell slot?
To cast that Detect Magic, yes.
Well, if I do the investigation first, correct?
I'm having them kind of go hand in hand.
Okay, perfect. Yep, it is cast.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of begin to piece together from what Omu has told you, from the manga that you've been reading. The play has changed. Things have shifted. And with that investigation check, you start to piece it together. That there is a cycle. And that when one Lord of Ravenloft is defeated, they're replaced with this other, the Heart of Darkness. And that there are times where Irina is the Dark Lord. And when she is defeated, then Strahd becomes the Dark Lord. But while one exists, the other may never truly be killed.
It's two sides of the same coin, and we have to destroy the coin itself.
Matthias, who's been fiddling with the bomb. We know there's a bag of bombs here. Would like to stealthily place a bomb on Irina.
Roll stealth.
Can I roll perception to see this?
Yes, if you're
Okay,
keeping an
that's
eye
solid.
on it, yeah.
I have a passive perception of 19.
21.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't see it.
Give me a second here. You are able to successfully plant this bomb at Irina's feet. Matthias, who's been over in the corner, kind of like sullenly flipping through this manga, kind of with like Irina's back is to him, really. As she's chatting with you all, Matthias very deftly, using the kind of cover and shadows of this undulating moss field, black moss field that has kind of like spread out around you, is able to sneak his way up to Irina's feet, kind of having the shadow of her obscure him even more, and plant a bomb. Roll damage.
You give me the damage because it's kind of just a homemade situation. So
Yeah. Let's see.
And to be clear, I'm standing right next to her.
Same. I'm like directly in front of her,
Yeah.
trying to talk to her about what's going on.
So this is what I would like to do if possible. Oh, great DM, ThatBronzeGirl. I would like to place the bomb and then slide in the forefront of the group, and I want to use my shield, my repulsion shield. Like get that ready for when the bomb explodes, that it won't hit the party. It'll just basically recoil back.
Okay. Give me an acrobatics check to see if you can pull that off. Because you'd have to like slide between her legs and then put the shield up. It's going to have a high DC.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, team. Ahead of time.
Blow me up. Do it. Blow me up.
Okay, that's not bad. 17.
You're able to slide through and get the shield up, but you will also be taking the damage. It's not going to be deflected back fully. All right, let me look at some of Irina's stat blocks. I wasn't exactly expecting for y'all to fight her here.
Neither was I.
I may be able to do some things that makes this work in a way that we don't have to actually take it on head on if people are okay with it.
I'm absolutely okay with it.
I don't know what's happening, so
I take my hat off and Ollie pops out and I hand Ollie what looks like a folded handkerchief. And I'm gonna have Ollie take the portable hole and drape it over Irina and the bomb and tie it up into the portable hole. So it's
the damage will go off first, but you could teleport Irina to another dimension. This is we're getting into existential shit here. Oh my gosh. Okay, give me a moment here.
I just have a shotgun. Oh my god.
Well, no, because I won't do it if I can't grab both of them because I'd rather have.
Well, I don't think anyone knows that the bomb.
Yeah,
is
no
about
one
to go
no
off.
one saw.
No one knows that the bomb is
off.
about to go off.
What was the perception we had to roll for that?
21.
It was a 21.
Oh, okay. I can't actually even possibly roll that. So no.
Yeah, it's super high.
TPK.
Yeah. Okay. So the bomb goes off. Roll 3d10 for me, Matthias. Athena.
I'm sorry.
Roll 3d10 for me.
3d10. Sorry, my phone keeps blowing up.
No, you're
sorry.
okay.
17 plus 3, 20.
You take 20 damage as you shield the rest of the group from this blast, and Irina takes 20 damage as well. Yeah. There is a loud explosion, one that you're not exactly expecting. And
what the hell?
You see
Why would she do that to us?
Matthias,
We just met her.
What's going on?
take like a huge sort of hit.
So from our perspective, it looks like Matthias just stood in front of us
Mm-hmm.
and then got blown up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So taking cover from the blast, Pura goes, "Who did that?"
What just happened?
Roll initiative.
6.
Nat 20.
What is with
I'm
you?
gonna roll tonight.
Is
I
that
don't
your
know.
third of the
It's
campaign?
the third.
Or
Yeah.
third of the night, I mean?
Third of the night.
That's
And also
amazing.
third of the campaign. I don't think I've rolled. Like, this one die
Ooh,
has
I
been a
love your dice
blessing.
tray.
It's from our Savad. Someone I no longer talk to
Ah,
gifted
it's
it to me.
beautiful.
That would be a
It's
total
a beautiful
20 for
tray,
myself.
nonetheless.
Yeah, and this is actually the dice that match
I'm a
it.
15.
So
Ooh,
What
that's
was
really
that,
cool.
Alex?
20 total for initiative.
20 total. Okay.
Nat 20s don't matter for initiative anyway, unless you count them. So
Pip.
most people don't.
Pip is 15.
Okay. So it'll be Vethe, Pura, Pip, Matthias, and then for Irina will go right before Pip. All right. In initiative order, we've got Vethe, Pura, Irina, Pip, Matthias. Vethe, you see this strange bomb go off. You just see an explosion, really. You see Matthias take the brunt of it, and you see Irina is pushed back as well. You see her ready her weapon. What do you do?
Okay, so when I see her ready the weapon, I'm like, oh god, oh god. My ears are ringing. They feel like there's just this needle being pushed in between my brain into my brainstem. Do I see anyone else that's injured?
You do see Matthias is injured. Matthias took the brunt of the damage
Okay.
because they rolled forward with their shield. But their roll wasn't high enough to deflect the damage, so they did take that 20 damage.
Cool. So my Aura Vitality, I think, is still up. I'm going to use a bonus action to heal Matthias. And because I'm still in Chalice form... Okay, so that is 7 plus 4. 11 hit points to start. Then 6 on top of that.
Perfect. So you heal
That's
17 points of damage, Matthias.
Yeah, and that's my bonus action. As my main action, I think because I didn't cast Aura Vitality in combat, I think I can cast a spell, right?
Yes.
Okay,
You can
cool.
cast
I'm gonna
one cantrip and one leveled spell.
Okay, I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt at a 2nd level. That is, what do I actually add to that? That is 26.
Perfect. 26 hits.
Okay. And then that is 11 damage.
Amazing.
Radiant if it matters.
It does. Matters quite a bit. Your guiding bolt strikes through Irina's armor, and you do notice now, as it strikes through, the flesh underneath is undead. You see it kind of tinged with light as your guiding bolt this strange hole. Pura, you're up.
All right.
right. So getting knocked around by this blast and seeing Matthias take the damage and not knowing really what caused it, Pura's under the assumption that Irina attacked us. So is going to pull out their
shotgun. Sorry.
I mean, I want to, but I think what I'm going to do, I am going to pull out my shotgun.
I think Bronze called shotgun.
Yeah, Bronze called shotgun.
I did call shotgun.
And I'm going to load it with some of the silver ammunition that we got.
Ooh.
And rack it closed. And I'm going to go and move forward using... hold on, let me double check to make sure how this works here. Am I within range of them already? Within 30 feet?
Yes, I believe you all said you were next to them.
Yeah. So I'm going to use steady aim, which I will not move on my turn in order to give myself advantage on the shot.
Okay.
Yeah, on my next attack. Yeah, in this turn and a speed 0. So I speed is 0. I will roll with advantage on this shot. That's going to be a 15 plus 8.
A 15 plus 8.
Yeah.
So that's 23?
23, yeah.
23, okay. Let's see. Oh, sweet. Okay. So as her reaction, you see her cast shield. The air in front of her kind of forms this glimmering, strange aura of almost tainted light, and just barely manages to deflect your blow. In fact, you see a couple of the pellets penetrate through just barely through the shield and clink against her armor, greatly slowed by this sort of viscous shield she's placed in front of it.
Shit. Look, I didn't want to fight you.
And that'll be my turn.
It is then her turn. When you say I didn't want to fight you, make a DC 16 intelligence or charisma saving throw. Your choice.
Intelligence. I have a -1 to charisma. That's intelligence saving throw. That will be a exactly 16.
Meets it, beats it. Okay. Nothing happens, but you do hear her say, I don't want to fight you either. Maybe we can come to some accord. But nothing happens.
Yeah. My ears are flatten against my head.
Yeah. Let's see. I think that might be her action. Yes, that is her action on this turn. On a failed save. Yeah, so I think on a successful save, it doesn't do anything. Okay.
Don't hurt me.
Yes. Perfect. Okay.
What did it seem like she was doing there?
Give me an Arcana check or a Perception check.
Arcana is better. Come on, dice. There we go. It's taking too long. Plus 19.
With a 19, you do see the weave of magic kind of manipulate. And in fact, for a moment, you saw Pura's eyes kind of go wide before they were able to regain their senses. You do get the sense that she was trying to charm Pura.
Yeah, this is not... I don't trust her. Okay.
Coincidentally, it is now your turn, Pip.
Yes, I would like to sneakily go around her. She is... I'm going to mark her as my my hunter's mark quarry. Mm-hmm. And then I would like to use Booming Blade with a sneak attack, if that is possible. with my silvered short sword.
Yeah. Give me. Actually, you have allies engaged within melee range, so you should have the advantage for sneak attack.
Sweet.
Go ahead and roll.
Am I rolling it with advantage or flat?
With advantage.
Perfect. So that is a 22 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, so it's going to be that plus, so 5 plus 9 plus sneak attack plus hunter's quarry. 15 plus hunter's mark. So that's going to be 16 points of damage. She is wreathed in energy from booming blades. So if she moves, she'll take damage there. And that is with a silver short sword.
She is not going to take damage, however, or because she's not going to move, but she does take damage from the booming blade attack itself. She is, however, going to reach around behind her since you've attacked her. With her cestus.
Ooh.
What in the hell is a cestus?
It's like a leather wrapping that covers a fist.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's going to reach around and try to like backhand you, essentially. Not realizing that you're a child, but rather just the source of her of what the damage she's taken.
That's okay. I look very adult. Very, very grown up for my age.
Does a 17 hit?
I have a business card and everything. A 17? No, it does not.
Ah, the cestus actually strikes wide, kind of not accounting for your smaller stature. As the fist kind of goes over your head, you wonder if maybe she was aiming at adult level. Matthias, it is your turn.
Let me see here. Did I notice that she was undead?
Give me a perception check, because that was from Vethe's radiant attack. So it would be if you had picked up on that when Vethe attacked.
Gotcha. Oh, 2. No.
Yeah. From your angle with the shield pulled up in front of you, you weren't able to see it.
You can't trust her. You can't trust her. She's not as the book says. She's not as the book says.
Matthias almost seems like a cultist.
What is different about her?
She's angry. She seems evil. And here, she's a ray of sunshine. But they call her the heart of darkness.
Who was the author on that book?
Who is the author on that book?
It's written in a language that I haven't understood. The manga, if you will. You read it from the backside forward. See, that's the beginning. No.
Matthias, take your turn. Why are you explaining how to read a manga?
So you see, as we're about to get attacked, we need to focus on this manga, and we get backstabbed. Yes, immediately.
Deal psychic damage to the party while you explain what a manga is.
You read from the back, you get stabbed in the back.
So really, there's two types of manga. There's shoujo and shonen. They're both read from the back to the front, which is because they're from a place called Japan. I love you. Don't be sorry. I'm just laughing.
That's great.
Like, Matthias, do your thing. Why are you talking about how to read a manga?
I don't know if people in chat have read a manga before.
Oh my god!
Like, I'm trying to help chat out right now. Damn it.
Yeah, no, you're right. What if chat just opened the book and spoiled themselves?
Yeah.
That's how you know. Look, I'm gonna tell Skippy to come to my side, and then I'm going to attack using my radiant quarterstaff infusion that I made myself.
Gotcha.
Ollie, special for that. May I let Ollie go?
Yeah, Ollie's out because You get the assist action on this, so go ahead and roll with advantage for your radiant weapon.
That's right. Francois has been with me this whole time.
I can't do it as well as Bronze can.
Sure. This entire situation has gone very much awry. I thought his name was Pierre, not Francois.
Is it? I don't remember.
Wow, Alex. How do you not remember your owl?
Pierre.
No, it is whatever you desire. I am but familiar, so maybe I am indeed Francois.
Change your name at any time.
Maybe I'm Pierre, maybe I'm
Less
Francois,
familiar
maybe
than
I'm
you
Jacques.
thought, huh?
Maybe I'm Jacques Cousteau. Who knows? Who knows?
So first attack would hit with hopefully it hits 23 to hit.
That does hit.
Cool. And then I'm going to expend a charge to try to blind Irina with a DC 16 Constitution save.
Okay, DC 16. She succeeds.
Damn.
18.
And 11 points of damage. And I do get a second attack.
Roll again.
At advantage or no?
I believe that counts for your whole attack action. Oh gosh, the comments are going to rip me apart. I think like when you get advantage or when you're assisted, you're being assisted for the attack action. And because your action allows you to hit twice, I think you get advantage for both. But if something were to allow you to take a second attack action, I think that's what you wouldn't get advantage on. Like if you were to do an action surge. Like if you a fighter's action surge. I believe those are the rules.
That sounds right to me.
Don't crucify me if I'm wrong.
Wants to do whatever she wants. It's her game.
Thank you, Alex.
To hit.
That hits as well.
And then 5 points of radiant. I'm sorry, 6 points.
6
I rolled
points.
a 1. I get a +5.
Perfect. 6 points of radiant damage. Yes, you attack at her twice with your Staff of Radiance. She is going to use her legendary action to attempt to bite you.
Oh, shit.
Does a 23 hit?
It sure does. But
wait a second. This is one willing creature, a creature that is grappled. Okay, so never mind. She actually can't do it unless you're already restrained. So instead, she's going to she's going to attempt to grapple you using that cestus again. Give me a DC 18 escape check with your athletics.
That will be a fail.
So instead
14.
of striking you, she instead grabs you by the throat. Sorry, chat. I was still reading through your stat block. And raises you several feet in the air. And you are incapacitated currently. With that, we're at the top of the round. Vethe.
Has anyone taken any damage?
I mean, I'm
That I can
still
see.
very injured from the thing before.
All right, so I'm gonna
I'm at
roll.
25 hit points.
Gonna use my bonus action again, and since I'm still in chalice form, I get the bonus from that. So that is. Let's start with that first. You heal 12 to start,
Hey.
and then 5 after that.
Okay, so 17. Got it.
That's my bonus action. I'm going to charge up to Irina. I should be pretty close, but.
Yep.
And I'm going to, with a ring of steel, pull out Winter's Fury. And as I do, slash at her.
Go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay, so. Fury plus 2, and I roll with a +7. Okay, so. Let's see. This die has done well for me. It did not do well for me. So that is a. Can I boost this? That is a 13, and I can add a 6 to that. 19. Does 19 hit?
19 does hit.
Yes. Okay, 19 hits. I'm going to roll. Oh wait, I don't need to roll. It does max damage, so that would be because of Winter's Fury. That would be 16 damage.
16 damage.
And it's all radiant.
Ooh, amazing.
All radiant all the time.
Yeah. All radiant all the time.
Sorry, I'm doing
Wow,
that.
that Staff of Frost is really nice.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I forgot to look at the Staff of Frost.
I don't think you've had time to
Here.
attune to it
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you strike at her with Winter's Fury and feel the cutting blade, like this like icy cold blade made from like an extended druid's antler, actually like find purchase, I don't know if we want to use that word, in a chink in her armor. That was really scary. And cut down through her shoulder. Who has the antlers?
Pura.
Breath.
Didn't you give them to me?
Oh, no, Pura.
Vethe has the antlers.
I'm wearing them.
They, as you make battle with this paladin, this fallen paladin, you do feel like a presence kind of like within your antlers, from one of the defeated wives. You gain access to these rites of challenge. They're in the Discord. And you can, everyone can take a look at them, but you have a one-time access to some of these rites if you would like to bring them to bear against Irina. However,
wow,
at the
cool.
end of your turn, she is going to use her last remaining legendary action point to attack Matthias, because I believe she gets advantage on Matthias because Matthias is incapacitated.
Yep, probably.
These are cool.
All right. So a 21 to hit. And then
Yep.
let's see. 8 piercing damage, as well as 12 necrotic damage, as while holding you aloft with one arm, she punches you again with the cestus, kind of like, just like you hear a sickening crunch as Matthias's jaw kind of cracks in that spot. And you see her begin to like open her maw and bare her fangs. Pura, it is your turn. Unless you want to move or do something else, Vethe.
Do these challenges require an action?
Allow me to consult the rules I've printed out.
I feel like they probably should, but
There's special rules because these are unique to the One Night Strahd compendium.
And it's only Vethe that can make a challenge right now, correct?
It's whoever wants to sort of use those horns. Let's see. That's a right of challenge. It allows a character to deal a significant radiant damage in exchange for an action and inspiration. So you do need the action. And like I was saying, when you got the horns, that is a point of inspiration that you have at your disposal.
I think Pura has that, or is it because I'm wearing the horns that I have access to it?
It's whatever you think between the two of you makes sense.
Yeah, you have the inspiration.
Okay. Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay, perfect. So you will need an action to use that. Pura, it is your turn.
All right. So Pura, now, very nonplussed with my own shotgun at the moment, is going to stow it and go, well, I guess I should give this a try at least once, and is going to pull Morningstar's Kiss out. And use that as their attack and move to within 15 feet of the target here because I have a 15-foot reach. And I'll go ahead and make my attack.
Go ahead and roll to hit.
And can I have Pierre help me
Of course, oui.
to
I
gain advantage
suppose.
on that?
Yeah, Pierre, you see Pierre kind of move forward and with like a piercing gaze try to ascertain a good spot for you to strike. Ooh, monsieur, if you will direct your attention here, the arm, there is a chink in the armor.
All right, let's see if I can do this.
Or rather, madame.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's going to be a 24.
That hits.
All right, so this will be radiant damage, and it is... Okay, 24 plus...
Her reaction is down and her legendary actions are down. So this is actually her most vulnerable round. Because you're like, you go right before her.
All right, so that's going to be 10 points of radiant damage and 12 points of sneak attack damage.
Okay, perfect.
And upon completion, I will then say, look, we can... Oh, that's not the... It's not my voice. Look, we can stop this at any time. You just say the word.
It is her turn, thereby refreshing her legendary actions. She is going to use her action to make 2 attacks. She says, I'll stop when I show you your place. And she makes 1 attack at you, Pura, with her cestus, with her free hand. Rolling only a 12.
That does not hit.
Yes. You dodge out of the way deftly. Actually, I think she would have had to move for that anyway. So go ahead and roll that booming blade damage. Yeah. Go ahead and roll that booming blade damage there, Pip.
Yes. So the booming blade damage goes off for 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage as a loud boom goes off as she moves forward, just making it honestly more frightening for you, Pura, but it also distracts her, throwing off her kind of aim. In frustration, still holding Matthias by the throat, now with like bruising kind of forming on your face. She's going to attempt to bite you, which she can do because you are grappled.
I'm sorry, you know, it does one more thing because we're higher than 5th level.
Okay, so that brings...
Sorry.
Yep, you're okay. So, a 24. Does that hit?
Another 7.
Yep.
Okay.
Matthias finally getting the kiss he wanted.
Not this one.
She does 6 piercing damage plus 10 necrotic damage. And your hit point maximum is reduced by 10 by that same necrotic damage amount. And you notice her flesh begin to knit back together as she feeds from Matthias. And as she does, she says aloud, I won't die here. I must be Strahd's undoing. I won't let you stop me.
Ooh.
And that's...
You're kind of...
Yeah.
We're here to defeat Strahd. We don't need to kill you.
You were here for the same reason.
Why are we fighting? Why did you blow us up?
I mean, you could join us.
Give me a group persuasion check. We'll be taking the second highest.
God.
The second highest as per the rules. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so everyone is that everyone make one?
You want to use one of your rights.
Can I use a right to do this?
Yes. Let me look here.
My
You
persuasion's
could.
garbage.
Just a moment. Flipping through my notes. The rights are quite powerful. I will allow you to use... All right. I'll offer you a gambit from DM to DM, Persephone.
Oh.
I will allow you to use the right of the last stand. And basically you'll expend your action and this inspiration token. The antlers will shatter and I'll allow you a chance to talk to Irina one-on-one. If you succeed, you'll exit initiative, but if you fail, there will be potentially a horrible consequence for you of physical harm.
Let's do it.
Okay. You feel winter kind of like not take hold over you, but as you have these like twisted undead druid things like antlers on your head and you're wielding her blade, you feel her sentience inside you. And you feel inspired in a way. And she says to you, Irina is a victim of Strahd, much like me. Maybe there's another way.
Yes, maybe there is.
Irina looks at you, blood streaming from her mouth, still holding the now like pale, battered, bruised Matthias aloft in one hand. But you do see that paladin's armor. You do remember Matthias's words of how at one point Irina was sunlight.
I invoke the right to the last stand.
She drops Matthias and looks at you. What right have you to challenge me to anything? You are nothing. You are out of your depth. You do not know what I've been through, what I've suffered. I am what stands between Strahd and total damnation.
You do not understand what I've been through too, Irina. I understand more
Were
than
you
can
damned
decide
because
for.
someone loved you?
Yes. Yes, I was. Do you see my face? Do you see my body? And Vethe wears a very long, dark cloak, and she will unbutton it and let it fall to the ground. And you can see that the face is the least of the damage. Her neck is entirely raw. Sinew is starting to flop and like separate from bone. You can see the outline of her rib cage and the slightest edge of the beating of her heart as this tissue has just fallen away from the bone.
What did this to you?
I thought that by giving up myself, I could save someone I loved. He betrayed me after and ran away, leaving me like this. I am no stranger to betrayal, Irina. And I'm no stranger to the damage that someone's sick idea of love can bring you. We should be helping each other, not destroying each other. I can help you take down Strahd. Please.
Maybe you really can. I had sought to encase him in the tomb he encased me in. But I suppose that fixes nothing. The mist will remain, and Barovia will remain in this never-ending cycle of pain. But maybe you can kill him and end it all. It's his obsession with me that brought all of this about. And you see her reach into her chest and pull out her own heart. She stands there for a moment, like not even flinching at the pain. And then she extends it to you. You're worthy of bearing my heart. Go to the sunlit shrine. Bury it in the tomb. And may we both be rid of Strahd.
But what will happen to you?
I will cease to exist. But
there has to be another way. You should not die because you're a victim of someone else.
After what I've been through, death would be a release. He gets his power from me. I would like to have agency over how this ends, and I desire to be removed from his curse.
But if there's another way, if there's a way to free you,
then I'm sure you will find it.
I hold her heart against my own that you can see beating through my chest.
You've held my heart more tenderly than anyone else has.
That's a cruelty, and I'm sorry.
Go with my blessing, but know that Strahd's hatred will be on your heels. If you do not make haste, well, let's just say, his hatred has a tendency of devouring things. Let us end this cycle and be rid of this wretched place and this horrible castle. And let Strahd have what's coming to him.
Yes. And let's hope that we can change the ending as well.
And with the wind whipping around you at the top of the tower, that is where we will call an end to today's session. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 5, Curse of Strahd, One Night Strahd. Y'all made some decisions today.
We really did.
Decisions were made today. This is a lot of decisions. Good decisions, great decisions even. Thank you so much for joining me, players. Make sure you go follow all of these wonderful people: Athena Palmer, Alex Ward, Jen Kretchmer, Persephone Valentine. They're amazing. Their links are in the chat bot right to the right of us. And also thank you to Hedger Group for sponsoring us for One Night Strahd. Things just got really interesting. See you next time for the last episode.